Lisa and I finally got fish for our 2 Nano tanks that we scaped a few weeks ago, and what we got might surprise you, because it surprised us. Hopefully you remember Lisa put together this beautiful scape in a 5-gallon bullet tank from Aquatop. You want to get one of these tanks, I'll put a link in the description and also put a card up in the corner there for the video where we showed her whole process of doing it. It really turned out beautiful, and I gotta say, the editing is top notch. Then I did this scape in the 5-gallon cube from Aquatop. Again, link in the description and all that other stuff. But we didn't put fish in either of these tanks in the videos. We wanted to focus on the tanks and the aquascapes. Well, that's what today's video is for. We went up to our favorite fish store in Glen Burnie, Maryland called KGTropicals, and I know what you're thinking. They talk about that store so much in their videos, they must be on their payroll. Well, I promise you, we're not. We just believe in giving credit where credit's due, and I'd rather say we went to KGTropicals than to just say we went to the fish store. So I just want to be clear, we are in no way affiliated with KGTropicals. We just love that store a lot and figure it's worth telling you about. So let me show you some footage we got from up there, show you the different nano fish that they had available, the different options that we had, all of the different fish that we were considering, but then we'll come back, I'll show you the tanks, and we'll show you what the final decision was. And like I said, it might surprise you. All right, so the first thing that really has to be said about KGTropicals is it's my favorite store in the world. It's kind of loud in there. So there really wasn't the opportunity to walk around, show you a bunch of fish. It would have just been so loud, it wouldn't have made sense. So what I'd like to do is talk with you about the fish that we saw that day that would have been good candidates for 5-gallon tanks. Now, some of the fish that we're gonna see maybe aren't the best for 5-gallon tanks. They get a little bit too big, but they're right on that borderline. Nonetheless, they are good small fish that are all very easy to keep, great for beginners, so it's worth mentioning every single one of them. The first one we saw there, the Cardinal Tetra, one of the staples in the hobby. You cannot go wrong with those fish. They are perfectly suited for a 5-gallon tank. Zebra Danios, not so much. They get a little bit bigger. I'm not going to yell at you if you put them in a 5-gallon, but you know, it is what it is. White Cloud Minnows, these are fantastic for a 5-gallon tank. Very pretty, very bold. Couple of different varieties. You got the Goldens and the regular White Clouds. They are beautiful. They're all over the place. You really can't go wrong with White Clouds. I personally have a whole bunch of them as we speak, and I love them. Brilliant Rasboras. These are adorable little fish. Again, you're going to hear me say this over and over and over. Very easy to keep, and that's kind of a general theme here of what I wanted to show. Fish that are easy for beginners, because let's face it, a lot of people start with 5-gallon tanks, so a great beginner fish is kind of what we're after here. We don't need beginner fish, but I'm going to show them to you. We like beginner fish just like we do any other fish. Ember Tetras, we actually have some of these. Lisa has them. They're hers. I can't claim them. They are adorable. Again, all over the place. Easy to care for. Very, very small. One of the best fish for a 5-gallon tank. Pristella Tetras, this is an underrated fish. It is not talked about enough. I love these. This is one that's going to be one of those borderline fish. I'm not going to yell at you if you put them in a 5-gallon tank, but I'd really like to see them in a 10 or maybe even bigger. Bigger is always better, but this is one of my favorite fish. The most distinctive fins you'll ever see in these little fish. I just absolutely love them. I want to make a quick note here that as you see there on the screen, I did put some basic information about all of these fish. This is just off the top of my head they might not be 100% accurate, but if you follow the things that are on the screen there, you should be okay. Silver tip tetras, another one, very bold, stands out. I love them. Pea Puffers, come on. These are some of the most adorable little alien looking fish you've ever seen in your life. They don't get giant like some of those other crazy puffers do. You can absolutely keep them in a 5-gallon. They can get a little angry at each other, especially if there's males and females together. So you want to be careful with that. But I don't know. They just look like little SpongeBob characters or something. I just adore Pea Puffers. Pencil fish. This is another one that we have already in the fish room. Love, love, love these. One of the easiest fish in the world, most forgiving fish. You can see I have it on the screen right there. 6 to 8 for pH. That means you can pretty much put them in anything. And as far as temperature goes, it's the same way. I mean, they're very, very adaptable and super, super hardy. Golden neon tetras, very similar to the other cardinals and neons and stuff like that. Similar in shape, similar in size, similar in really everything except for their appearance. I love them. This is not one that you see as much as the cardinals and the neons and all of that, but they are absolutely adorable. Endler's live bears, almost identical to guppies, very similar to guppies, and also extremely difficult to get on camera because they're so active. They're all over the place. It's impossible to get the camera to focus because once it does, the fish moves and another one comes in its place, and it's very, very frustrating to try to get endlers. But again, staple, easy across the board, and so is Celestial Pearl Danios. These are cute. You got to zoom in big time on them because they are so small, but these fish are adorable. They are just like everything else on this list. Easy to keep. Just everything about them is super simple. So you can't go wrong with Celestial Pearls, and they're very, very small. They're only about 1 inch in size, so you can have quite a few of them in a 5-gallon tank, and nobody's going to yell at you. Let's face it, in social media these days, you just don't want people yelling at you. Funny story, this nice young lady that is getting our fish for us, her name is Maddie, and she's a friend of our daughter's. House of Tropicals is over 2 hours from our house, and wouldn't you know it, there's somebody that we know that works there. She's played softball with our daughter. She has spent the night at our house before, back when they were real, real young. So it's kind of a small world kind of a story to run into her there, and she happens to work there. So she got our fish for us, and yeah, you can look at the footage and cheat and tell what it is that we got, but you got to look real close. But anyway, this was a great trip to House of Tropicals. It was really cool to meet up with somebody that we know and we've known since she was a little girl. It's definitely a small world. You just never know these days. So what did we end up choosing for our tanks? Well, I'm going to let Lisa tell you about hers. As far as mine goes, I bought some fish for this tank that I can't wait to show you, but I also bought some other fish that I wasn't expecting to buy, and those are going to be in another tank. I'll show you those too. For this tank, I got some of the most beautiful nano fish, and they are so amazing. I got 8 Endler's live bears. What kind of Endlers are they? I have no idea. And you know what? I don't care. If you want to know what types of Endlers they are and you demand an answer from me, well, I'm just going to say they're the kind that are really beautiful. As fish keepers on the internet, we get all caught up in scientific names and getting super specific about it. Well, I don't play those games. I buy fish that I like, and I don't care what they are. I mean, of course I want to make sure they'll be okay in a tank this size and get along with whatever tank mates they're going with and so on, but I don't get caught up in scientific names and all that stuff. I just leave that for the people that are much smarter than me. But like I said earlier, that's not all I got. I did get some other fish. I'm going to show you those after we go talk to Lisa and see what she got for hers.
Hey everyone, it's been several weeks since I've scaped this tank and so much has happened. You may notice there's some things moving around in there. So I'm sure John's already told you everything about our trip as far as going to House of Tropicals, picking out fish and doing all that fun stuff. And of course it was a lot of fun because who doesn't like fish shopping? Hello? So let me tell you what I got. So we got there and I thought there would be a few more fish there that I could choose from that I've been thinking about getting for my tank, but the selection was kind of slim when it came to nano fish, and so I decided to pick up these celestial pearl danios because they're really cute and I like them a lot. They weren't the exact fish I was thinking of, but that's okay because I did pick up a few chili rasboras and they're so stinking adorable. I have 6 of those in here and I have about, I think, 7 celestial pearl danios. I got 11 or 12 of them, but I stuck the other 4 or 5 down in the tank with my pencil fish and ember tetras because I didn't want to overcrowd this tank. And I wanted to keep the male-female ratio a little bit more towards the female side so we didn't have a lot of aggression in here. You may notice I have a few ram's horn snails in here. I got those from a friend. You may know him as Lefty32138, and he sent these to me last year sometime, and not the exact same ones that are in the tank. They are actually the offspring of quite a few that I got out of King George's tank. So I put them in here. I'm going to give John some to be nice because he needs a cleanup crew as well. Now, there's also something else that I plan on putting in here that you can't see because they're not in there yet. I have about, I don't know, I think I picked up 10 or 12 cherry red shrimp and they are so cute. I have them down in my shrimp tank because it's very well established and I wanted to make sure that my tank is super cycled to the point where it's been running for a while before I stick those shrimp in there because I don't want to lose them because they're so cute. And anyways, that's what's going to be my final addition to this tank. Overall, I absolutely love everything that's going on with it. So there you go. That's what's going on with my tank, and that's it.
All right, it's finally time for me to show you the other special fish that I got. I also bought a bunch of these adorable Pea Puffers. These little guys and girls are the cutest things I've ever seen, and I've got big plans for them. If I were you, I'd definitely subscribe to see what happens with these. It's gonna be a ton of fun. This whole project was a lot of fun for me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know it was gonna be fun with me. Aquascaping has never really been my thing. I've always admired it, but I've never really wanted to do it myself. And that's all changed now. I had so much fun doing that little nano tank, and I can't wait to do another one in the future. I got all these ideas. It's absolutely just, it's crazy, the ideas that I've had. You're gonna see one of those ideas in the next couple of weeks. As long as I can get the tank done, this idea that I have is gonna be something special. And I'm about halfway done with it. I can't wait to share that with you. Yes, I think I have the aquascaping bug, but I'm gonna do it a little differently than what you see some of the pros out there like George Farmer and Tanner Serpa and MD Fish Tanks and Aqua Pros and all those guys that are known for being amazing aquascapers. I'm gonna do something a little different, and I can't wait to show you that. Might be a little goofy, but hey, that's what I do. I am a goofy guy. I'm gonna do goofy things. I don't know. I can't wait to hear your reaction on that. Anyway, that's enough. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for going on this journey with me. Bye.